A ship appears out of the fog in the Atlantic Ocean. Only a few people can hear its name, the Mary Celeste. But as the story goes on, one question breaks the silence. What happened to this terrible ship and its people on that scary November day in 1872? Join me as we lead you through the dangerous waters of history and look into the mystery that surrounds Mary Celeste. Chapter Introduction. Many people have told stories about ghost ships, and the Mary Celeste is a very old ship that fits all of those stories. The American ship was designed and constructed in 1860 in the Nova Scotian village of Spencer's Island. It was first named the Amazon. The Mary Celeste was a brigantine, which is a ship with two masts. The ship's terrible journey began on November 7, 1872. The 7 people on board were Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs, his wife Sarah, and their daughter Sophia, who was 2 years old. It took the 282-ton ship 2 weeks of bad weather to get to the Azores. At 5 a.m. on November 25th, this is where the ship's last log entry was made. To this day, no one knows what happened to the vessel. There are a lot of distinct theories about what happened, from pirates to dangerous waterspouts, alien saucers, ghosts, and a lot many things. How was it found? 10 days later, on December 5th, 1872, the Mary Celeste was seen by the crew of a different ship called DEI Gratia. It was found drifting alone in the Atlantic Ocean near the Azores Islands in Portugal. Its main sail was said to be furled, and the top mast sail was ripped. The boat seemed to be taking its own path as it moved with the wind. Benjamin Spooner Briggs, who was in charge of the Mary Celeste, was good friends with David Morehouse, who was that ship's captain. A week before setting sail on their own ships for the Mediterranean, they had dinner together. Once Captain Morehouse knew it was the Mary Celeste, he sent Oliver DeVoe, his first mate, to check on the ship's crew to see if everyone was okay. The floating ship was found by the first mate to be 38 degrees 20 north, 17 degrees 15 west, which is about 600 miles from the coast of Portugal. However, getting on the ship wasn't easy. Even though they tried to get in touch with the crew, no one showed up to pull in the sails, and fierce winds took the ship. Oliver DeVoe and a few other sailors thought that the group must have caught a disease that made them weak and sick. But when they finally got to the top of the ship, they were shocked to see that no one was there. There was no evidence of theft or violence. The crew's things and the goods were all still there. Nothing was stolen. It was quiet and peaceful. The ship was found in bad shape, which added to the wonder of it. The DEI Gratia traveled about 800 miles to Gibraltar because they couldn't find anyone nearby. A salvage hearing was held by a British court to decide if the crew of the DEI Gratia should get paid by the ship's insurance. But Attorney General Frederick Solly Flood didn't trust the DEI Gratia crew and thought that they were up to no good. So he chose to look into it more deeply. After 3 months, the court still couldn't find any proof of wrongdoing. The salvagers got 1/6 of the $46,000 that Mary Celeste and her cargo were covered for. This made the police think that the DEI Gratia crew might not be entirely at fault. Between the beginning and middle of the 1860s, the ship's owners had a number of accidents while changing hands. There were also the deaths of 3 captains, which made the ship's bad image even worse. But despite all the bad press, the ship did have good voyages, even though the bad press was much worse than the success rate. In 1867, the ship was saved by a naval company in New York and put under the command of Captain Benjamin Briggs. The ship had 8 people working on it, including Captain Briggs, his wife, and their daughter. By the way, Captain Briggs was one of the 4 people who had newly transferred joint stock control of the Mary Celeste. Chapter Mystery. In 1872, the ship Mary Celeste was sent to the Italian province of Genoa to bring about 1,700 barrels of alcohol. This is when the story began. When it was supposed to leave on November 7, 1872, the ship never made it to the port of Genoa. Instead, the DEI Gratia, which had left New York Harbor exactly 1 week after the Mary Celeste, found it lost in the Strait of Gibraltar. The strange details became clear right away. The ship's crew and master were nowhere to be found, and the boat's only lifeboat was never seen again. It became clear that these 2 things were true, but it was also found that the goods on board the ship, the diluted alcohol that was cargo, and the people's personal belongings had not been damaged at all. Chapter How's story become popular. While many people were already aware of the mystery surrounding it, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's short story made the story of this unfortunate ship more well-known. An ex-slave who turned into a murderous sailor was in it. But Anne McGregor, who produced the movie The True Story of Mary Celeste, also wrote about Mary Celeste and started a new study into him. Chapter A List of Theories. There were rumors that the captain was too controlling of his team, but Briggs, who was an experienced captain and an honest man with a strong sense of duty and ethics in his job, quickly put these rumors to rest. The alcohol casks and the captain's choice to leave the ship before a fire could start are two ideas about the ghost ship that have gotten a lot of support. The fact that 9 barrels of liquor were found empty and a rope was hanging into the water made this theory more likely, but nothing solid has been proven. In the heat of the Azores, the alcohol vapors were thought to have grown, which caused the main hatch to blow off. Because of this, everyone on board was afraid of a blast and left the ship. But McGregor said that the people who got on board saw that the main hatch was locked and didn't smell any fumes. The report said that 9 of the 1701 barrels were empty. However, those 9 empty barrels were made of red oak instead of whitewood like the others. Red oak has more holes in it, so it's more likely to leak. The 2 German crew members, who were also brothers, were another reason to be suspicious. People started to think badly of Volkert and Boy Lorenzen because none of their things were found on the ship. But a family friend told McGregor that the brothers lost their things in a shipwreck in 1872 and had no reason to hurt other crew members. The notes made by Attorney General Solly Flood were the start of more probes. Based on what he wrote down, Captain Briggs changed the ship's direction to go north of Santa Maria Island the day before Mary Celeste got to the Azores. The last time the ship's log was written, it was in rough seas and strong winds. The ship's leader and crew may not have left because of bad weather and a broken clock, though. Another thing that was found was that Mary Celeste recently got new equipment and brought coal on its last trip. The idea says that coal dust and construction waste may have clogged the pumps, which could explain why the pump was found disassembled on the drifting ship. The captain did not know how much water was in the ship's hold because the pumps were not working. Once the captain saw land and dealt with rough weather, he chose to leave the boat because he thought it might sink. There are also many other rumors and ideas about the Mary Celeste mystery, such as that the ship mutinied, saw flying saucers, went into the Bermuda Triangle by accident, or was hit by bad weather. All of these ideas are just guesses, though, since the ship was found whole and with no damage that could be seen. There are a lot of stories about ghost ships in the maritime world. Some are scary, and some are just plain hard to understand. Without a doubt, the story of Mary Celeste fits into the second group and is worth thinking about. So drop a thumb if you find this video exciting. Also share with your adventurous buddies. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thrilling videos.